Hey guys, Lou here from LT's Custom Woodworks. Welcome to my shop. In the last 2 days I had cleaned the shop out and greased everything and did all the maintenance that I had to do. And I figured this is a perfect time to do a shop tour since I haven't done one. So I'm going to start at the one side over there and work my way all the way around, and then I'll do the center. So the shop is 24 long by 18 wide, and it is 2 by 6 construction wall, which I was a little surprised because about 5-6 years ago when I had to gut everything out and had the electrician to come in and rewire everything, I had thought it was 2 by 4 walls, and it wasn't. It was 2 by 6, which was fantastic. I was very pleased with that because the more insulation, well, the warmer the garage is. So I ended up, once the electrician's done, I ended up insulating the garage with R21. And then I used a 1.5 inch Durafoam on top of that. And if you don't know what Durafoam is, it's basically, it comes in a 4x8 sheets. And I live in Canada here, so our winters are pretty cold. And I live in Winnipeg. So the 1.5 inch Durafoam is a foam with a foil on one side. And what it does is in the summertime, it rejects the sun and keeps the inside cool. And in the winter time, as you have the heat on the garage, it holds the heat in very, very well. So I was very pleased with using that, and it works great. And I used it on the ceiling as well. After that, I ended up putting 7/16 plywood on the ceiling and walls. So it's fully enclosed, very well insulated. My heat bill throughout the years, anywhere from $25 to $35 a month. And our winters anywhere from -28 to -35, 40, and I keep it at room temperature all year round. So I'm very pleased with how I insulated it. Over here I have is my spindle cart, which is the rigid sander, and I have a 13-inch box planer. Very pleased with it. I've had it now for about 4 or 5 years. Heavy use. The box planer is a 13-inch, and it is a Mastercraft, and I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, I've had no issues with it. I hook up my 4-inch dust collection, and this is my blast gate, to the box planer, and then I just take the hose from the table saw and connect it to here. So it works very well. At the top here I have a cabinet that there is nothing in it yet, but I'm sure I will find use for it someday. Right beside it I have is my 36-inch Laguna wood lathe. The funny thing about this is I had bought this in December of 2018, and I've never used it yet, not once. My old lathe was a 36 inch as well, but I couldn't do any bowls with it or anything like that. So I wanted to upgrade so I can start doing bowls in that, but I never had a chance to use it. I've turned it on and listened to it, but I've never actually used it yet. So I'm looking forward to getting onto it soon. Here I have is my air conditioner. That is my window air conditioner, but I've never connected it in the last couple of years because I had no need to. Right above the lathe I have all my chisels that are most likely dull. I will need to sharpen them. My grinder was built into my old table where I had my lathe on, and I would sharpen it through my jig on that way, but because I haven't had a chance to get on this, I've never gotten to a chance to sharpen the chisels yet, but hopefully soon. Here I have is my King Canada drill press. It's everything I expected it to do. I've had it for about almost 6 years now, and it works very well. It has my lights, my lasers. It's got on the top, if I want to change the RPM for different materials, I just lift this up. I change my belt drives to a different setting, and it works very well. I can't complain for what it's worth, what I paid. It's very reasonable. This is the inside of the drill press where I switch my belts to whatever desired setting I need. And it's very quick, very fast, and I'm good to go. On the bottom of the drill press As you see, I have all my socket sets are buried underneath there. I don't know if you can see that. Those are tools that if a machine breaks down in the shop, I have tools to work on them. And then of course paint cans that I have laying around here under the drill press because I'm running out of room. So I just slide them in there. Right above the bandsaw and the drill press, I have is my clamps, my glue up clamps that I use. The blue ones on the far end there, those are the Rockler clamps, 3/4 inch. I swear by those. I love those clamps. They work really, really well, and the torque that you can get out of them is phenomenal. I would love to get another set of those, but I don't think Rockler delivers to Canada or to Winnipeg. They don't ship anything out here. I ended up getting that from a trucker that drives into the States back and forth, and he had picked them up, and then he was selling them, so I ended up buying it from him. But I swear by those Rockler clamps. My Bessey clamps are another ones that I'm constantly going to. They are definitely good glue up clamps. So if you don't have any of those, you definitely got to get them. I got my TV up here that sometimes I'll turn on and watch a little TV. Very few do I ever turn it on. I don't, not often do I ever turn it on. Because I'm always working, concentrating, or I'm filming, I have no use to turn it on. Here is my Laguna 14-inch bandsaw. Very pleased with this. The dust collection, I'm surprised. It's amazing how the dust collection works on this. It literally picks up everything. So it was very well designed. I'm a big fan of Laguna tools. They're a little bit pricey, but you pay for what you get, and their tools are very well thought when they're building them, when they're in their production line. They're very well thought in how they're built. They're very strong, very reliable. I'm a big fan of Laguna tools, so I will always buy Laguna products. Very pleased with it. All my adjustments are here. It's all hooked up to 4-inch dust collection port, and it's on wheels, so if I want to wheel it around in the shop, I can do so. Here is my 6-inch joiner, which is right beside my bandsaw. This is a King Industrial, which is, it's a general product. From what I'm to understand and what I've read up on, General International had went bankrupt. King Canada had stepped in and bought their production line. So they're still producing the general equipment. All King Canada did was paint it their colors and put their name on it. But it's still made, it's a general machine. I'm very happy with it. I used to have all General International products here in the shop, and then I had switched everything as they were getting old. You slowly buy new equipment. This 6-inch is just a regular cutter head. It's not a helical cutter head. I was going to buy one, but I figured with 4, I was pleased with my other one, so I just decided to go with the same 4-inch dust port. And it works really, really well, adjusts really well, different settings that I need. I keep my earplugs here, and I have my push blocks up the top here. It did come with one of these, and I'm not sure, and I've looked everywhere in the manual, I'm not sure where this goes. If anybody knows where this piece goes on this machine, I was told it's to hold tools, but I'm not sure. Hopefully it's not going to fall apart. I bought this about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and I've never had any issues. So if anybody knows, drop a link below. Other than that, the next time I'm in Felder Machinery, I'll have to ask him where this goes. So definitely, if you guys know, drop a link below. Let me know what it is, or a comment below, and it would be great to know. Right behind here, I keep my track saw guide. Again, paints at the bottom. This is also on wheels. If I want to wheel the planer around, I can do so, but I never usually, it just stays right where it is, and that's it. Over above the The 6-inch joiner I have is my Incra joint jig, box joint jig. Works extremely well. Very pleased with all the Incra tools that they make there. It's phenomenal. I have my new sprayer that I just got not too long ago. I never had a chance to use it. Here is my other HVLP sprayer that I use. This is fairly new. I use my mask for when I spray, and it's a full face mask because I deal with a lot of pre-cat lacquers. So I like my eyes and everything covered. This is definitely a go-to for me. Have my rulers hanging on the walls and my tool board. Now these are tools that I use often. I don't like to put tools on my tool board that I don't use. It's just wasted space. So these are tools that I always use on a regular basis. This is my 240 construction heater, and it is 56 BTUs. This has its own thermostat built in, and it heats the garage up from usually the end of October, and I don't turn it off until ending of April, give or take, depends on the weather. It keeps up the demand in the shop here. You work in room temperature. I can open up the overhead door on the garage. This will kick on 5 minutes later. It's back to room temperature in here the minute I close the garage door. So it works very, very well. And again, walls, everything is very well insulated. Usually at this time of the year in October, I will inspect the weather stripping on the walk-in door, weather stripping on the overhead door, and just do a full inspection. If it needs to be fixed, repaired, or anything like that, I do that before winter, so I'm all ready to go once the snow flies. Over here again, I have my stains and paint on the floor because I'm running out of room on where to put it. My compressor, my hose, my pin nailer, my stapler, my levels is there. I have my other automatic pin nailer here, which is a Ryobi. I have my squares. Again, my tool wall, tools that I use on a regular basis. My screwdrivers, some of my planers, my screws, my hammers. Anything like that I use on a regular basis is what I'll put on this wall. I don't like to keep things that I don't use. Right at the bottom of the tool wall I have is my spray guns that I use off and on. It's not my go-to, but I do use them once in a while. And then at the very top is where I have all my stains. I'll see if I can get a better shot here. And that's where I keep all my stains, just above the window. And again, running out of room, so I'm putting them on the floor now. Not a good thing. Here's where I keep all my drills, my charger, my camera charger, some of my screws that I use, tape measures and whatnot. It's like a junk drawer, I guess you can say. I keep them up there. My clamps that I use quite a bit is all access in front and behind my assembly table. Right at the bottom is where I keep all my stock on my screws, my pocket hole screws. Now I buy in bulk because I go through so much of it. So I buy them in boxes. I get the box of the 2-inch, the box of the 1.5 inch, box of 1.25 inch. My biscuit number 20 biscuits, my Domino biscuits. Here I keep all my gloves, all my sandpaper that I use for my orbital sanding, some of my jigs, but I buy it in bulk. Here I have all my sanding discs, and again I buy them by 3 or 4 boxes at a time. Just the fact that it's cheaper and I go through so much of it. Here we have is the walk-in door. This door has got a bit of a history to it because this came from a job site that I was on. It was a new construction, a house being built, and of course I had my nephew with me, and we had this 14-foot ladder And the train, because it was a new house being built, it's not a level ground. So it was all muddy and rocks and stuff like that. So he went to go pick up this ladder, and a little bit of a gust of wind came and he lost balance and let go of the ladder. The ladder, of course, hit the door on the other side of the door here and poked a hole in it. So, of course, now I'm looking at the door going, I can't leave it like that. I need to replace the door. So trying to track where this door came from took me a good 3-4 hours. But as soon as I found out where this door came from, I had called them up and I had wanted to order a door. Of course, they're specially made per project. Now this door was 4 or 5 feet wide. This was about 15 years ago, maybe longer. It was 4 feet wide, and it was, no, it was about 10 years ago. 4 or 5 feet wide by 14 feet tall. So when I had called for this door, they said they can have a guy come out and repair it, but it depends on what the design is on the door. If it's a flat design on it, then they can be able to fix it. So the guy came out and looked at the door, and because it has this little pattern in the door, that they couldn't fix it. Now it's a fiberglass door, but it's got weird fibers on the inside of the door and the way it's insulated. So I said, okay, well, I'll have to order a door, and I'll just, instead of ordering the frame and all, I'll just order the slab and pop the slab in. Sure enough, the door was $2,500. So I had bought the door, replaced it. Then I asked the customer if I can take the old door with me. They said no problem. So I took the door, I cut it down, and I put it in here. So this door is a good sized door. It is 8 feet by 40. So it's nice having an oversized door. Just sheer fact of getting furniture out or moving things in and out, so much easier. So I'm very happy with the door. I wasn't happy with replacing it, but it is what it is, and that's how it goes. Over here is my Laguna 1.5 HEPA filter dust collection unit. Works extremely well. Once a week I'll pop out the HEPA filter and I will clean it out, blow it out, throw it back in. I find it when that HEPA filter is clean, you get better suction. When I need to clean out the dust out of the container, I'll just pull this out, drop the canister, clean all the dust, put it back in, push it back in. Again, Laguna builds great products. I have no issues. If you're ever in Winnipeg or you live in Winnipeg and you're looking for any kind of equipment, whether it's drills or drill bits or machinery, Felder Machinery on Church Avenue, great place to go to. I've been dealing with them for a few years now, and I'm very, very happy and very pleased with how they treat their customers. They back up their warranty. Ken is a great guy there. Like I said, he'll always take care of you if you're ever looking for anything. They're not badly priced either. Again, quality on equipment. You're going to pay a little bit for certain things, but you pay for what you get. But he does take care of you there. Check them out. They have great products. You will not be disappointed. I'm very happy with going there the first time and picking up this machinery, and I was very, very happy with my choice. So that's that. Over here is my air filtration unit. Now this is a furnace fan. It runs on 2 speeds, and I have 4 filters on the side. When I turn this on, the air shoots, hits the wall, and works around. So it works around in a circulation like this. It works extremely well. I clean those filters about twice a week. That's how much dust it picks up. The only problem I'm having though is when I turn it on, the air that blows out this way is hitting that heater. And what's happening with that heater is that it runs on a thermostat and it's reading that it's cold in here. So that heater will stay on constantly until I turn this off. If I leave it on, it literally gets really hot in here. So sometimes I'll turn off the heater for about an hour to just so I can keep this going. After an hour, I got to turn it on because you notice it does get nippy in here. I do have to do something with this, either put a shield there and divert it a different way so that doesn't happen, but I do have to correct that issue. I have my Bosch stereo here. If I ever want to listen to any music, I just turn it on. It's hooked up to Bluetooth as well, so I have a little bit of both options. Now, the way the dust collection works is I have it piped with 4-inch pipe that goes all the way up to the ceiling from the backside, and it goes all the way around. It wraps all the way around. And then as it comes down, it goes to every single machinery along the wall. So it will drop down to the joiner with its own blast gate, drops down to the bandsaw, to the blast gate, to the drill press, and to the lathe. It's got a port there. Then it's got a connection to the table saw at the very bottom. Then it's got a port that goes from here to the miter saw, and it does have a port that drops down to the floor sweep. Over here is my, and I just built this not too long ago, maybe 2-3 months ago, but it is my router table. And this is not where it belongs. It does belong on the other side, but right now I have my snow blower there because winter's coming, so I kind of moved it here. It is on wheels. So if I have to access drawers in the back, then I can just move this out of the way. If not, it's got the Jensen router lift. It's got my drawers for all my fittings that I have. All my router bits. And my bits for my domino machine. Screws and whatnot, some hardware. All my thinners, my lacquer thinners and my pre-cat lacquers and my sand and sealers, I buy them by the 5-gallon pails, and it's so much easier for me because I buy so much of it. So what I'll do is I'll buy the 5-gallon pails and I'll pour them into 1 gallons. That way it's easier for me to pour it into a strainer and then into my gun. So I always keep 1 gallons on hand, empty gallons. I don't throw them out. I buy by the 5-gallon pails and just pour them in there. It's so much easier for me. And over here is the famous J. Bates miter station. Very well, good design. I just did a little bit of a twist to it and added more drawers. Just the fact that I have a lot of windows here in the shop that I don't have a lot of wall space, so I need a lot of drawers. So I have everything all in drawers. When I need to access these drawers, I just pull my router table out and I can access the drawers. At the top, I just keep all my caulkings, my cleaners, glues and stuff is up there. Some little parts up on the top here that I might need. Here is my miter saw, which is a Milwaukee. Very pleased with it. The only downfall with the Milwaukee saw is the dust collection is terrible. Because it has a square end on it, yes, you have a bag that connects to it, don't like it. To connect a 4-inch port to it or a 2-inch or a 3-inch, whatever you're using, is not feasible. So yes, you can buy an adapter, which I've done that. This connects on the back, your hose connects to here, still terrible. The dust collection on this is not good at all whatsoever. They need to correct their problem on their dust collection on this. Would I buy one again? If they correct their problem on their dust collection, yes. But if they don't, I don't think I would ever buy one again, because again, the way this is connected, and I'll get a better picture of it. I'll move that up closer. Okay, so this is the dust collection. I've done everything, and I've bashed my brains with trying to get this corrected. I've tried to make different connections for here to get the dust collection better, and I've hooked up my hose, and I've done all that, and I've tried everything, and I failed at everything that this can possibly do for dust collection. I can't figure anything else out. If you have a better solution, drop a link below your comments. So I've done everything on this dust collection on the bottom, and I've rigged things up. I've even took this off and hooked up a hose right underneath, and it's very, very poor. I've tried everything. If you know a solution to this, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I can do better for a dust collection on here. In the meantime, what I've done is I have a hose connected here, which is a 3-inch hose that I can use to vacuum around. Plus I have a 4-inch port that is, I don't know if you can see this, right there, which is hooked up to my dust collector. And let's see if I can get a better shot of it. There's the port there, 4-inch port, and it runs on a blast gate at the very bottom here that I just pull. So if you have a solution on this dust collection, drop a comment below. Love to hear it. And we're good to go. At the top, I have all my paint supplies. I have a little live edge sitting up there drying out. I keep all my lacquers and thinners at the top there, ready to go. And that's the other side of the air filtration unit. On the side of the miter saw station, I have is my all my files and everything, that orders that I get. It's all labeled in there, and it keeps it clean. On the miter saw station, in the drawers, I try to keep things organized the best I can. So here I keep all my pins from inch to 2-inch. I keep all my dowels, pencils. Try to be as well organized as possible. Keep all my springs, washers, screws. Try to be as organized as possible. Over here is, now this is pretty large. It's, I believe it's 9 feet long, and this is my wood cart. The reason why I wanted it long is because I deal with a lot of 4x8 sheets, and I buy a lot of it. So if I would have went with a shorter cart, then the plywood is going to start to bend this way, and I don't want that. So I ended up making the cart extra long, and I just lean my sheets up again, and it stays straight all the time. Here I just slide in all my small pieces and some of my 2x6s of pine that I buy. I go through this cart once a week. I burn a lot of stuff. So a lot of cutoffs, because there's so much in the shop that happens throughout the day. Once a week I kind of clean up the cart. I throw it into I got bins under the miter saw, and then I just take it out and I just throw it in a fire pit and burn it. And I do that constantly, because if I don't, this stuff is just going to build up and I got nowhere to put it. So I burn a lot of material at the end of the week. This is my cabinet saw, which is a Stallion. This is a 1.5 horse. Very, very pleased with it. I'm very happy with the purchase. This is on casters. So what I do is if I need to access the lathe, I just flip it on the casters, move it out of the way, then I have full access to the lathe where I can use. Otherwise, these stick out too far and I can't get in there to work the lathe. So they're sitting on casters and I can just move them around anywhere I want in the shop. Over here I have is my outfeed table. This outfeed table is quite large. And the size of this outfeed table is 4 feet, I believe. No, it's not. It's 43 inches wide by 50 inches long. I wanted it to be the same width of the top of the table saw. When I throw on those 4-foot sheets, it just slides nicely right onto the table. It works perfect. I'm very happy with the size I went. Again, these are also on casters, so I just got to plop them up and move it around the shop any way I want. On the side of the outfeed table, I fill up those gallons with lacquer thinners. I have my skill saws are at the bottom, any kind of screws, stock of screws that I have on the side here. Inside my drawers, I have all the little bits and pieces and jigs and door handles and stuff like that that I carry. All the screws. It's kind of messy right now, but when you get really busy in here, it's hard to keep track and keep clean of things. My blankets that I use for covering things, extension cords. On this side, same thing. I keep all my camera gear in the one corner there. All my drawer slides that I keep stock is there. My track saw is at the bottom. My grinder. This is my assembly table. This is a little bit larger than what usually they are. I think they're about 2 feet is usually what people make them. This one here is 34 wide by 6 feet long. The reason why I want it to be a little bit wider than normal is just due to the fact that because I do a lot of furniture, when you're building a coffee table, you want that width. If I do a coffee table that's, let's say, 32 inches by 32, it works out quite nicely because this is 34, but when you start getting into 36 and 36, I just put a sheet of plywood on top and work off that. But other than that, this I find is the perfect size for doing all kinds of furniture. It just works out perfect that way. The top is 2x4 and it's all glued together right across. It makes it extra solid. On this bottom side is my paper holder. And I just pull it out as I need. Again, paint on the floor, gallons of paint. I have a 2-horse router on the floor as well. On this side, I keep all my sanders, routers, stuff that I use on a regular basis are on the bottom shelf here. That's plugged in onto the side. And it works out great. I have a little garbage there on the side. So it's easy accessible to where I'm working. Over here is my leg vise. If you don't have one in the shop, I find it that they are a must. This is the best vise that I have in the shop here, and I swear by it. It's a great vise all around. If you don't have one, build one. It's worth it. On the bottom here is my HVLP sprayer. I carry my glues, my jigsaw, my biscuit joiner, my upholstery gun, which is a pass load. I have my domino machine that's also sitting on top of my pocket hole. My pocket hole machine. I buy my caulkings by the case and keep all my brushes and containers in thinners to keep them clean. Well, that much pretty much wraps it up there. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.